All right, guys, welcome one more time to the Services Elevated podcast by Brisa Corp. Today we have a really interesting guest. We have Hansel here. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the invite.
Actually, it's really early today here in New York, and the city never stops. This runs really fast. And I want to show in this space all the people who is behind running this industry and all the buildings in New York. Welcome one more time again. Please tell me how you feeling. How you today?
Well, excited to be here. Thanks for the invitation. By the way, very excited. Yes, it is my first time, not in front of a camera, but in a conversation podcast kind of thing. Very excited. Love what you're doing. I like the initiative. Just happy to be here.
Thank you so much. Actually, we met through LinkedIn first, and then we met personally in one of the events from
Yes.
Metropolitan Association. I want to know about you. I want to tell the people who is seeing this podcast who is Hansel,
Okay.
and what did you build so far
Interesting. Where do we start?
from the beginning. We have
As I
time.
was as I was telling you a moment ago, yes, it's I mean, yes, it's my life, and I'm trying to look back at it. I don't do that as often, but I do it when I need to recharge. So yeah, so I'll be happy to share. So, well, yes, my name is Hansel Gonzalez. The name of my company is Avarga Construction. I've been in business for we going on to 16 years now, right? And my journey, at least my journey began in Nicaragua. That's my home country. I moved to the States back when I was 19 years old. It was a while ago. It might not seem like it, but it was a while ago.
You look young.
Uh, I heard that, but yeah, it's been a while. So I started when I moved to the state when I was 19 years old. Circumstances under why I moved to the states that I would say that they're not glamorous. They're not the best story, but nonetheless, it is my story. So my background is actually in computer systems. I started studying that back then. I was pretty young. I started hanging out with the wrong people. Nobody else's fault, just mine. Just starting hanging out with the wrong people. My father was a very I'm not gonna say strict, but he held very high standards, and in a not so subtle way, he just told me either you go back to school, you finish your school, or you just leave the house. So when you presented with that option when you're 19 years old, I mean, it is shocking. I don't regret any bit of it. It's not a sad story in any way, I promise. It actually, as we continue to talk, I will continue to share, right? So that made me move to the States. I have
Okay.
family here in the States. They welcomed me, and I started learning their business. Their business was precisely on restoration, building envelopes, roofing, facade restoration, concrete structural work, that kind of thing. So I sort of landed in construction, and guess what?
Tell me.
I hated it.
Or
I
no?
hated it with my guts. I hated it, but there's always this state of mind for
Okay.
me, right? It is not a feeling; it's really a state of mind where doesn't matter where I am or where I land, I'm always gonna make the best out of it. So my attitude, despite the conditions, despite anything around me, or the circumstances for that matter, it's it's always been about making the best out of it. So that's what I did. I learned the language, even though it might sound that I'm still learning, and yes, I am.
We
Uh,
never stop learning.
Never
That's
stop.
true.
So I learned the language, learned the business. I was, I don't like using the word lucky, but let's say I was in the right place with the right people, um, and I always learn.
Okay.
I'm always learning. So I learned as much as I could at every stage in my life, professionally, personally. And I learned the business. So for many years, I started working with a broom and a shovel in a construction site. I felt very deep respect for my workers, for the workers that I see out there, because I know the struggle firsthand. You know, I was not born with a silver spoon. I have an amazing life growing up,
Mhm.
right? But I never had to do that type of work until I came to the state. And I know that is the same story for most immigrants.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was about to say that. Yeah.
we go through the grind, and it's challenging, it's difficult, and I wish more people will talk about it. um, Hopefully in spaces like this we can share that.
That's the point. Yeah. Yeah. I was about to say. Yeah.
And so I learned. I started with a broom and a shovel, but then again, as I told you, I wanted to learn. I went back to school when I was here. I learned about project management. I learned more about construction. I come across every single workshop that I'm invited, whether it's for safety, materials, equipment. Let me know, and I'll be there.
All right.
So every year that knowledge compounds. The more you know, right? About business, about work, about materials, about equipment, about safety. So all of that over the years that compounds, and it works in your advantage. So always trying to make the best out of it, right? So I work as a project manager for many years. Great opportunities, and I always again made the best out of it. I was promoted very quickly.
Okay.
Among the ranks, right? And then just one day, circumstances.
Just to understand and have like a timeline, seeing when you came 19 till that moment that you realized that, how long was that?
You're talking about
When,
about
when
10,
you
I'll probably say it was just about 11 years.
11 years. Okay.
11 years, about 11 years, right?
All right.
That span where I started working as a labor in construction.
You came at 2000.
1999.
Okay.
1999, 2000. Then I went back to my country briefly, and then I just came back because I always joke about it, but most immigrants will say that it's difficult to come to the United States. I think they have it the opposite way. I think the hardest part is to lead from here. It's an amazing country. It's full of opportunities.
Good perspective.
I've been blessed. My family's been blessed.
I think you're the first person that I heard saying that.
It's
And
actually
actually,
harder
yeah.
to live from here. I must admit, thank to God, the people that He put on my way. My journey's been amazing, and I just love it. I don't regret any of it. It's an amazing country, excellent opportunities, as
Nice.
long as you're willing to make an effort.
100%. So we were in that part that you start taking some decisions. You were
Yeah.
in a situation where you was manager, and what happened then?
So at the time, circumstances happened, and to put it in simple terms, I was reminded that I was an employee,
All right.
right? Nothing wrong with that. It's just that,
Yep.
sometimes you feel so good at what you do, and when you hold yourself to very high standards, it's like, so the way I put it is, high standard is when you care about doing the right thing when no one's watching,
Okay.
because that is important to you. When you keep your standards high when no one cares, that means when the stakes are high, your standards are going to be there when the situation calls for it. So regardless of where you are, whether it's something that you think it might not be important, if you do it, then you will do it, and you will be there when the stakes are high.
That's true.
So going back to the journey, as I was telling you. So yes, I was an employee, and then I just went back home and I just told my wife, you know what, I want to do this. What do you mean? I want to quit my job. Now my wife and I, we just joke about it, but her eyes went like, what do you mean? I mean, she didn't say it. She thought it, but she didn't say
We
it.
feel it. We, as a husband, we feel.
No. Now
when they're getting crazy.
now we talk about it. I mean, she shares openly, and she's like, I'm like, what are we gonna do? We have a mortgage. We have a baby. What are we gonna do? I'm like, listen. She only asked me one question, and one question alone.
The smarter way to manage property services. Technology combined with our own in-house professional crew. No middlemen, no guesswork. Just people you can trust. Create work orders in seconds. Painting, cleaning, repairs, done. Track everything in real time. from assignment to completion. Finally, full visibility, better decisions, and real cost control. This isn't just a service, it's your right hand. Brizacorp.com, built for property managers who expect more. Book a walkthrough or schedule a site visit today.
Are you sure? My answer was 1,000%. 1,000%. So that was a good moment. She's always been supported to me like that, and it was amazing. So I went into business.
All right.
And I failed.
And
the first time.
This idea of Avarga was like the first call.
It was because I knew construction. I built my network about construction, and the people I know, I learned to love the business. Right, I learned to love it, and I knew I could make it work. I just knew in me. Again, I always said it's not a feeling; it's a state of mind.
Okay.
So I knew I could make it. So I went ahead and I did it. I did it. Me and I had about eight to 10 workers at the time, including me. As any other entrepreneur will relate to this. When you are the owner, you are the secretary, you are the purchase manager, wearing all the hats. Funny story, when I started my business, I actually had about 5 different email addresses, 5 different names.
No way.
Working out of my bedroom in my apartment, in my house.
Okay.
So the impression that my clients will have on the other end is that we were a team, that have a full staff office, everyone was doing their jobs. Yet it was just me articulating different email addresses, phone numbers, and that kind of thing.
And that's super important to show to the people. I mean, take this step and risk yourself to make a business and start by your own. Doesn't take you don't have to wait for the perfect time. You have to just do it, right?
If you wait, Felipe, if you wait for the perfect time, most people are going to, that's why I emphasize the word feeling. When people think that you're gonna feel it, that you're gonna feel, okay. It's not like you wake up one day saying, you know what, I feel I'm ready for this. It's not like that. It's up here. So if it's a state of mind, if your mind, you say it, and most importantly, you believe it, then it's true. It will happen. It will materialize in real life. But again, you have to be convinced. You probably heard many times, when people say your mind can distinguish between what's true and what's not, and that is so important. So whatever you say, you have to be very careful about what you say. So that's what I said at the very beginning. I'm not a victim of the circumstances. I refuse to believe that. I always ask myself, is the question you ask yourself, what? And I talked about it on some of my my social media, is that don't complain about the situation you're put in. Just ask yourself, why did God put me in this situation? What do I have to learn from this? And then you learn, you dust yourself off, you keep on going.
I agree.
And as long as you have that type of mentality, you are unstoppable. You are
all right. So you was in your first step of your company. You was worker also. So what happened then? What was the thing that changed what you was doing?
Well, I oftentimes I talk about having high standards, and I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to be able to service my clients in a way that I never saw before, right? So obviously, when you open up a business, you just start working wherever you can. Whomever that offers an opportunity for you, you just take it. It's not like you have an option. So I started doing it, and again, don't take this the wrong way. I was another worker at different levels, so to speak, but not less still a worker, right, for that other company. They opened the doors, they gave me opportunities, but I was still subject to the culture of that company, the regulations of that company, and they don't always really align with the way I wanted to do business. Another interesting fact about me is that when I made that decision back in 2011, I told you I started small. I think I probably have made I wish I had maybe not even $10,000 saved to go into business in a such an expensive and demanding industry and city as New York is. That's
Yes.
nothing. That's literally nothing.
So you knew that you was running a risk, basically.
Oh, 100%.
But you
Well,
was
I still
sure.
do it every day. You just learn to get comfortable with the idea. But then again, if you're convinced, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter.
You have to make it work, whatever
You
it
have
takes.
to make it work. Exactly that. Whatever it takes. So you put yourself in that situation where the only way is up. And
Make it
not
happen.
only me, I have a fantastic team behind me. My company, the people that work alongside with me, and some of the ones that already left out there, they all brought something. It's not just me. I always like to be close and surrounded by people that share the culture.
Okay.
It doesn't always work that way, but for the most part, I choose to be close to that kind of people. So it's a big effort. There's a lot of people behind me that support me, my family first, and I call them my reason. Number one, my family, my kids, of course. But then again, it's all of these other people that are relying on having a job, making sure they go back home safe.
Yes.
At the end of the day, in an environment like construction, it's extremely difficult. So there's a lot at stake. There's a lot at stake. So I feel responsible for every single one of them. Knock on wood, and thank God we've always been blessed that way. That yes, they show up.
God bless. Yes,
They
yes.
show up, and I show up for them. So I reciprocate.
So
that way.
starting the company, you said that you made a couple of mistakes, or one mistake. When
I started my business,
when you started like your own path, after they reminded you that you were an employee,
well,
or you will say,
as I recall, but it was such a long time ago. It was, I wouldn't call it a mistake though. Again, where there were circumstances, and I saw it one way, and my employer saw it a different way, and he was right.
all right,
He was absolutely right. He was absolutely right. At the end of the day, when you work for somebody else and you're told to do things their way, whether you like it or not, you have to abide by that.
yeah, no,
So I
that's
still
true.
do it in my own business. It's one of those tough decisions. I'm not saying in any way that was bad. They were great people. They opened the door for me. They gave me good opportunities. I made the best out of it, and here we are today. I call that mentorship.
Okay.
You learn from that, and I learned big time. Most
No.
of the things that I know now, I learned through that.
When you told me the story, for me was like that was the universe telling you that you're for something bigger than just like being an employee.
Exactly. I wanted that for me. So
In that moment that you was in the first stage of the company, you have a couple of customers, you have your first jobs. Tell me something about it. What was your experience with those first customers?
Great question. So I was able to grow my network before even going into business, just relationships from different projects I worked. I've probably done across the course of my life over 1,000 projects in my life.
1,000 projects?
Over
Wow.
well over 1,000 projects over the years. I was handling, as a project manager, I'll probably say easy 15, 17 projects, not by myself. Again, that's why I emphasize the fact you can always do that as long as you're supported by the right people. It is possible. Challenging, but possible. So I cut that portion, but ask me again. I lost track of my thoughts.
The experience of the
The
customers.
first experience. So over the years, I was able to get in contact, create relationships with a lot of people in my industry. A lot of people. I always did the best work I could with them. So they were good relationships, right? However, I'm a very ethical person as well. So when I opened my business, I never, until this day, went back asking for work from people that I met or sources that I had through my last employer. I never did, up until this day. I don't do it. It's a very different situation when they reach out to you, but I never did it. I never went looking for them. However, I wasn't even ready. When you start in business, I mean, you're thinking if you're still gonna be in this business the next day or even the following week. So it was always a gamble. So I never reached out to anybody until I didn't want to burn any bridges, right? So it took me just about 2 to 3 years working smaller projects, mostly as a subcontractor, as I explained to you, until I actually gained the strength to do that financially and also with equipment and having the right people by my side to help me move forward, right? And grow my business, right? So when I made that second decision, 3 years after I went into business, I said it again. I'm not gonna be working as a subcontractor. So I went to my wife again and I said, I'm not doing it. Are you sure? 1,000% again. So I made 3 phone calls out of probably around 500 contacts that I had in my agenda at the time. I only called 3. 2 of them opened the doors for me, and they started giving me opportunities to bid in smaller to medium-sized projects, right? Things that I could handle, that I would be able to perform, because remember, I was being invited, right? These people were basically putting their reputation in the line just to give me an opportunity. So I had to make sure I did the best for them. And I did. And up until today, I still work with that people. Almost 16 years later. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, 13 years later, in the capacity of a general contractor. They're still among my clients. I'm very thankful for the opportunity. They opened the door, and until today, I value that relationship. Yes. And then it just started just growing and scaling from there.
Okay.
Scaling from then, I told you that there are 2 very important pillars for any business. Little did I know about it, because when you're an entrepreneur, I mean, what did I know about these things, right?
You're figuring it out pretty much all the time.
So, and they both were. One of them was innovation, and the second one is marketing. So yes, I was doing some innovation in my business the first few years, and 0 marketing.
Okay.
Nothing. Everything was just word of mouth. It's because it's what I learned. It's not what it is today that we're here and we have people watching us. It's a lot easier to reach people today than it was before.
Back then, we didn't have this type of platforms. It was way more difficult to create any type of offer to communicate. It was more relying on relationships, basically.
The average, as a matter of fact, let me see if I had these stats right, but there goes something along the lines of about 15, 20 years ago, it probably took around 3 to 4 times where you interact with someone so you could sell something.
Okay.
You have an idea what the stats is that for today?
Yes, completely. I mean,
I'm not even talking about getting to that. Yes. Just getting to the opportunity, to the prospect of just getting that business. It takes at least 16 times that you have to be in front of that person.
That's why you have to be so grateful, because right now, a lot of people who is seeing this podcast and is feeling inspired by your story, basically, you have to realize that you have a lot of tools to work with, and it was way more difficult back then. Right?
So yeah, absolutely. But then again, you have to think about it. It really depends on how you looked at it, right? I love the fact that I'm here, because this could be the 8th time that a prospect is looking at me, right? Doesn't mean I had that sale, but that person is warming up to me and the way I do business. And perhaps I'm saying something here now today that will pique his interest in my business and what I do, right? Hopefully. But some people will say that it's more difficult now because of the amount of information that is out there. There's so much information out there, so that you feel overwhelmed with it, right? So yeah, that's what I did before. It was just word of mouth. Nowadays, we are in a world that you have to, if I want to scale, if I want to grow my business, the way I want to grow my business, right? Everyone is, if you just want to stay the size you want to stay, it's fine. I mean, nothing wrong. Nobody goes in. That's another misbelief. People going into business thinking that business is about getting big. Going into business is not about getting big. Not really. Has absolutely very little to do with that. So I wanna be able to get in front of that client through any means necessary now. And social media, I'm warming up to the idea of social media. I have my own personal social media platforms as well as the ones for my business.
And it's great. You have to see it, guys.
Thank you for that.
I know
Thank
this guy not for too long, but the quality of the content and the effort that he's putting, it's really remarkable.
Thank you, and I really appreciate that, because, well, now, but most people don't. It may seem like 30 to 40 seconds of that go like this, but there are
Never.
hours,
Yes.
hours of time of production and research behind it. So please like and share.
Like and share and subscribe.
Yeah. So it is very difficult, but that's what we had to do today. This is the world we are in today.
Yeah.
And again, my vision, my dreams, where my business needs to be, I'm not even halfway there.
We're done.
I'm not even halfway there.
But going back to the Hansel in that era or time, you got your three first customers, right? You call these guys, they give you the opportunity. After that, what happened? You have to go out and search for clients. You have to pitch yourself. You went to the 16 stages of each customer.
Yeah.
What was your thinking, your learning?
Same as it is today. The exact same one. That hasn't changed.
And one story that you have in your mind that you are like, this story I'm never gonna forget. I'll tell this to my kids.
Wow, there's so many. Well, we're making a story now. I mean, my daughter is here. I in any way, I want to be that person that if I can touch anyone, even being here, if I can inspire anyone to do something, my day is done. It's good. It's just amazing. I believe in that. I think by you doing the right thing, whatever it is you do, business, personal, employee, whatever it is you do, you always do the right thing. Money is really a byproduct of that. If you're talking about business itself, always do good for your clients. Show your face. Very little people that we're preparing some content now, because I told my team, you know what? If you're going social media, every business, everything is full of beautiful stories. The silver lining of these stories. I'm sure you have your own stories as well. Some of them you're not so proud of. They're not that great stories, but nonetheless, there are circumstances and you learn from those. So we're preparing a lot of content that talks about our fails as well. Why? Because there's also that transparency, that trust that you want to build with people, right? Yes. Do we make mistakes? Of course. I made dozens and dozens, and I will continue to make so many mistakes. But it's what you learn from it, right? So I learn from my mistakes and I just grow better. So what I do today, I'm in constant contact with them, right? It's not just me. Yes, there's a lot of work to do in my office, a lot of paper. There's always work, right? There's always work. I think they call it the law of Parkinson, that it talks about the work will always find its way to fill up the time. So that's why you could go sleepless nights just working, and you realize that you barely moving the needle, because there's always work, right? There's always something to do, but yet I still find the time for what's important. Why? Because I don't want my client to feel like it's a transaction. I don't want to grow so big that they lose that touch with me or my company. So one of the things that I promote, because I want people to get to know me like that, is not just the name of my business, but to know me as the person they can reach out to. So access to upper management, that's what we use, the tagline that we use, because it's true. So that means I go out of my office, I go say hi to my clients, I go see what happens, not only when things are going well, but particularly when things are going bad,
Okay.
because you want to show your face. They want to know that you stand behind them. And despite the fact that I have my horror stories where projects that didn't go as expected for neither party, there's people that I still work with them because I show up and I was able to solve the problem they have and do the right thing, regardless of the financial consequences of that, just doing the right thing. Because I do believe that by keeping that relationship, there's always an opportunity to make that money back if, you know, if the issue came to money. So I do value relationships very, very deeply.
100%. And I'm seeing as a newbie in the industry that we're going to the meetings basically to put ourselves out and shake some hands and start those relationships. But those are really, really valuable. These people in these meetings have a whole protocol about how you should approach these the scenarios, and it's really remarkable. I'm seeing a Hansel who is very really self-motivated, who has ethics. That's kind of lacking in this humanity. Well, it was one of another to say it. I'm really grateful to having you here.
Thank you.
Tell me some of the challenges that when you get into this industry as a owner, with the resident managers or the people who was your clients, basically when you're just about to get the approval. What was those challenges that?
So I wanna make an emphasis on the networking environment that you bring. This is how we met. One of the reasons why I'm here, and again, I'm thankful for the opportunity, was precisely because of that interaction. So we were introduced, even though we already knew each other through social media platform, and it was is the fact that, and I promote that, and this is mostly to the people on that environment, right? The resident managers, property managers, engineer firms. I take it as a great deal of responsibility, right? I'm thankful for the opportunity, because I got an opportunities out of there, people that barely know me, right? But I always tell them, in this environment, pick your vendors, support your vendors from this environment. You know why? Because, I'm not reinventing the wheel here when I say that if I met you at this event, you gave me an opportunity, I want to make sure I under-promise and over-deliver.
Yes.
Because your work will either make me or destroy me in this environment. So once you, property managers, engineers, resident managers, give us these opportunities, we do, and I believe I speak for all of vendors, or most of the vendors, at least the ones I got to interact with in your meetings, is that we're always going to do above and beyond, because we recognize the opportunity. It's really about building that name, building that trust, and we're going to treat you and do the best possible way that we can. And I think I speak for all of us. So again, I'm thankful for the opportunity. I think it's a great, great place to be. I'm very, very new to the scene, though. I would probably say I came very, very late. We've been in business 16 years, and I just started attending these events not even a year ago. And I met wonderful people. There's a lot of people out there that is really out there to help you and support you. And I'm thankful for that. So I think it's great. It's a combination of, social media platforms. So the challenges that we see today, that I see today, well, as I mentioned a moment ago, yes, there's an abundance of information out there. The so-called experience, that something I learned a few years ago, experience means nothing if the experience is a bad experience. So just bet the people you do business with.
You have such a good quotes, man.
I follow a lot of people around. I learn. I'm always learning. I'm never going to stop learning. And I made a lot of mistakes. A friend of mine will say, I climbed to the mountain of stupidity at least once or twice already. So
Okay.
I made tons of mistakes. I lost a lot of money making those mistakes. Yet doesn't matter. I learned a lot from them. So today I'm here and I'm happy, happy to be here sharing. Also seeing other Hispanics people doing it.
Yes.
To me, that is nothing short of amazing. Coming to a country with all of the challenges that we go through. So if you are out there and you have a Hispanic or any other minority background, there's so much support. And then we keep telling ourselves, or we had this false belief, right? Here goes another quote, right? So change your story, change your life. I didn't say it. I didn't take. I'm not gonna take credit for that. This came from Tony Robbins, and he says that change your story, change your life, and that is so important because that is the moment, that wake up call, that aha moment that you get in your life, and you realize, yes, you might feel like you are at the bottom of it, but if you tell yourself you can make it, you can go into business, you can become an entrepreneur. It's a 50-50 chance. Making the decisions, and you're already halfway there. If you realize that, and then you convince yourself that, yes, it will happen. And more so if you're surrounded by someone that's going to support you, or people, could be your parents, could be your wife, could be your kids. That is so important because it's just going to give you that fuel that you need just to keep on pushing the bar and keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, pushing the bar, raising your standards. I don't negotiate that. My standards are here and will continue to go up, but never back down. Just higher and higher and higher. And believe it or not, take my word for it. 16 years with my own business, that compounds on your business, and you've seen it today. I've been blessed. Me, my family, we have really amazing projects, and we have so many new projects coming down the pipe now that is. If I go back to 2011 when I went home and I just told my wife I wanted to quit my job, it just makes me feel great. It makes me feel like it was such a great decision. It was the best thing I could do. Having, like I told you also, having failed 2 times before that at other businesses, I always tried the entrepreneurial life. It doesn't mean that the first time you're gonna get it. It doesn't mean that the second time you're gonna get it. It could be 2, 3, 4, 5 here, but this is if my story compels you in any way, is that don't hold back. It could take you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as many times as is needed. Do it. Don't wait until you feel it, because you're never gonna feel it. You're gonna put it in your mind. You gotta make sure it happens for you. And if the right reasons are there, just do it. It will happen. It will happen. So thank you for this. Hispanics, seeing you, Brisa Corp, very excited. I also love the fact that you are into technology as well. I was doing my research about your company. That's another big thing.
Pretty much.
Today,
that's another question
nowadays,
I have for you,
the challenges is either you adapt, you grow with the times. We were talking about social media. Now is the next biggest leap, and that is technology.
That was actually another question for you. Like, what are you thinking? Your takes about the tech in this industry with your experience, 16 years doing what people call boring businesses. For us, are exciting. Obviously, we talked about this prior, but your takes in about tech in the industry.
So
in your niche,
in my, I having these. My background, I've always been inclined to technology. I think the first time I touched a computer was 11 years old. MS2, Lotus, and all of those spreadsheets.
All right.
MS-DOS, such a long time ago. I'm very excited with technology. I love it. So right now, this is like, I don't know, probably the equivalent to go to Disneyland. But then again, let me use more recent facts. I mean, I think we're old enough here, or whomever is watching, to remember the time when internet came to be. How exciting it was. Nobody cared that you had to you got mail. Like, you remember back in the days? And that was exciting.
All the people were saying that this is not going to work. This is just the hype.
That's what they were saying, right? And then again, you have to learn patterns. So we're old enough to know that what happened then, a lot of startups, great companies, they bet on tech and they got huge. huge. So this is that opportunity. So I'm loving it. We are implementing it heavily in our processes, not to replace people, but just to do more with the same people you
Yes.
have. Now, in a market, in this industry that we're in, and the market, especially as New York, I don't know where you might be, but a New York minute could be a day or two somewhere else.
Yes.
Everything moves so fast.
Yeah.
People are not gonna be, your client is not gonna be waiting for you an hour, 2 hours to call, because they're gonna call somebody else, or somebody else is gonna call them. So in the world that we live today, the quickest you answer that phone, or the quickest you jump to that opportunity, and there are so many ways now to get that information, to reach to that content, to get that opportunity, this is the time. So if you're thinking about it, don't. Just do it. Just do it. The information is there. I see what you guys are doing. I think it's an amazing opportunity. Like you were saying, I would not call it boring at all. Not at all. It is very exciting. Great times. It's really, to me, it's really great times to go into business nowadays. And if you do it by the hand of grabbing the hand of technology by your side, you just increase your chances at least 10 times. At least 10 times. Being able to reach people, being able to service them better, getting your permits quicker, for example. All of those things are happening now. So it is exciting, really great times. We started implementing AI supported processes in my business about 6 months ago.
Right.
And even when we implemented 6 months ago, now it's obsolete. So it's that fast. It's really that fast.
Crazy, yeah.
So we're training AI agents to work with, to support my people on the field. We're doing it in our office with workflows, different systems, different platforms. That is happening today.
But you're actively learning about AI.
I love it. I love it.
Beautiful.
If you watch a few videos online of people actually complaining because you can't go to bed, you really can't. You start just digging, and then you go down the rabbit hole, and just seeing it how it simplifies your day-to-day operations, it just blows your mind. It really
All right.
does.
So most of the people who is seeing this podcast, hopefully, is gonna be property managers and people in this industry. What you will say about Avarga and you to these people? You're inviting them to know about what you do, because we talk that construction is really, really wide. So, and you focus in a really specific thing with Avarga. So I would love to let them know about that specific things that you.
So around the networking events, so yes, like you say, construction is a very broad term, right? And then when most people meet me, they go like, "Oh yeah, local law." I'm like, "Yeah, it's local law 11," but it's so much more. It really is so much more. What Avarga focuses on is on building envelopes. So it doesn't mean that it's the only work we do, right? We are general contractors, so we do all kinds of work, right? So the best way I can describe it, yes, is on the building envelopes. Anything outside that building that might have issues, that may be failing, we take care of that. We are the people that come and we take care of those problems for you. One other thing that I want to talk about my business, this is the core, the culture of my business. And I've seen so many other businesses fail because they neglect that, or they just have it a different way. And probably the biggest mistake I've seen throughout my years as being an entrepreneur is the fact that they fall in love with their service, or their product. Do not fall in love with your service. You have to fall in love with your clients and be able to meet them there.
That's
right?
important.
It's extremely, and I see so many fail, and I guess.
And
I don't know.
I think that happened in entrepreneurship itself, because a lot of people they get in love with the product or with the idea, and then they fail when they go into the market.
Exactly, they fail. Why? Because your ego starts building, and you're thinking that you are the next best thing right out there. Nowadays, like I said, there's so much information out there. right? There's a lot of people out there, a lot of contractors, great contractors out there. You know, a lot of them I learn every single day from them. Whenever I meet them, we cross path networking events. I ask questions a lot again because I want to hang out with the people that they have larger businesses. They scale so big, or they've been in business for 20, 30, some of them 40 years. I love to learn from that, right? I don't see it as, I see every opportunity that I have with them, I see that as an opportunity to learn from them and what they're doing. And what can I use that obviously they know something that I don't know, right?
Yes.
So if you have the attitude where you are in love with your service, your product, you already failed, at least in my eyes. So I'm in love with my client and how I can serve them, how I can come and meet them and be of service and do a good work for them. So what I'm getting at is that is our culture. That is our culture. And I emphasize on it on every opportunity that I have with my own guys, my own people, my workers, my foremen, my project managers, my office staff. Just meet our clients, call them, find out if everything is okay. I do surveys every now and then, just trying to get the pulse of where we are. Are we doing okay? I don't want to grow so big that I lose that perception of my clients, where they are, how are we meeting their needs? So and I find ways to get that feedback from them, oftentimes meeting them or just being in contact with them. So that is so important. So for those of you out there, just know that regardless of your idea of whether you think we may be too small for your project, because it might be too big for your project, all I ask is for an opportunity. To me, it makes no difference. Big, small, doesn't matter. I'm happy just by having a foot on the door, be given an opportunity, and just make the best out of that. That's what I feel is what we bring to the table. Again, great companies out there, a lot of them doing very amazing things. But for us, I believe that is the one distinction. My client comes first. Doesn't matter. Money, profit, that's just a byproduct of my performance and what I do. That will come. And I see it. That will come. So that's why I'm very confident. We extended lifetime warranties for roofing projects that we do. Why? Because if I care on the tiny little details, my guys, they know that on the tiny little details that we do and take care of without nobody watching. So I'm extremely confident that the product they're gonna get, it's not gonna have any financial implications for me later. So how confident do you have to be in your service, your work ethic and the level of work you do to do that? Nobody else is doing that. When you put your words with your work and you come and you show it, nobody's doing it. We are doing it. Lifetime warranty, unheard of.
Okay. In 16 years in your career, I'm gonna make you a tough question. I'll try.
Please do. Go ahead. Yes.
If you make only one quote, one phrase to resume your 16 years in the industry, clients, work, employees, everything, what will be your take about all this experience? Like, really short. First thing that comes to your mind.
Well, if I have to use just one word for it,
No, not a word. Let's say like a phrase.
I would say excitement. Like the same way I'm excited to be here, where this is going, I would resume it in excitement, right? Excitement because I see how my business has grown where we are today. So I could use the word excitement.
All right.
I could also describe my personal life, the opportunities that because of my business, the opportunities, the people I got to meet, the rooms I got to be part of, the places I got to go and learn. We love traveling. We're always doing with my family, my kids. It excites me, right? The learning curve, right? It's exciting because it just opens up my mind to more learning, wisdom. So on every aspect of my life, if I take the word, it will be excitement. And I'm extremely excited today about the future. I'm excited about the fact that us Hispanics are making a difference today. So if I take that same word in different aspects of my life, it resonates with every single one of them.
Really inspiring.
Yeah. Interesting fact, for example, when I decided to go into my own niche, right, which is restoration of building envelopes, I noticed we were the muscle behind the projects. I mean, it's not a secret. You open, you walk out on the street and you see a lot of Hispanics doing this work. It was us. It's always been us doing it, at least in a very large scale. But there was no one really taking the lead of entrepreneurial life, just doing it on their own. I saw that opportunity. Was I scared? Of course I was scared. I'm still scared today of some things, but there's
You don't
nothing
look scared at
wrong.
all.
No,
You're-
but you always you see. But then again, it's perfectly normal. If you're scared and it's that fear that is holding you back, understand you just have to have the courage to do it. So I'm scared today of many different things, right? But then again, I had the courage. So as long as you build that courage, it will happen. So that was my story. And if you're thinking about that entrepreneurial life and you want to go on any type of business you want to go on, just do it. You will always be scared, but just build the courage. Go ahead and do it, and believe you can do it. So I was the very first one in my niche that started doing it. Where there were hundreds of other workers, right, at different scales, different levels, subcontractors. I mean, there were so many, but there was no one moving the needle to where I wanted to be. So today I can speak about it. It took a lot of work. It continued to take a lot of work, a lot of challenges. Not everyone that was with me back then still's with me now, right? But that is just part of business. So if you believe in yourself, you believe in the opportunity, if there is one thing you can take out of this conversation, this whole conversation, is that just take the leap. Believe in yourself, go ahead, do it. It's been amazing for me. I'm sure it's amazing for you. So I'm very excited for your company. I think you're taking, Jesus, I wish that was something like this was available when I started my business. I just didn't get to see it. So thank you for this. And I'm going to be very, very attentive. I've seen some of your previous guests. I'm very excited to continue to follow, see other guests, most of the people that we met together on these events. And hopefully we get to do things together as well. I love the idea. So again, excitement, always around excitement.
Well, this was been really great, actually, to have you here. Really inspiring. Pretty much, this was the thing that we want to show in this space is passionate people who is building companies and services who make this city run. This is really challenging. The city has many offers. There is a lot of people in a really small space, and having this type of passion, this type of commitment to make something great, to have ethics, because that's something, like I said before, it's lacking nowadays, and showing the people that it's possible to make it as an Hispanic, with all the challenges that comes with it. Thank you again. We will show some of you. We will have you again. We have a different segment coming. Like it's in the field. We're gonna show how people works and the experience about it. Yeah. Anything you want to add to finish this episode?
Well, just the fact of being thankful. Again, follow us for more in social media. Follow our social platforms. It really, really means a lot for me. As I mentioned before, I value these type of platforms. I value the feedback. So if you see us out there, just like, share our content, make comments. I want to know what you want to hear, what you want to know about. When I go to events, people approach me. They tell me what they like. Very little tell me what they don't like. I'm very curious about that too. So just comment.
Actually,
it gets me. That's what I'm saying. Not everyone talks about these stories. The stories gone wrong. That's why we're preparing a whole section of that. The fails. I think it's important because you learn from those. So just do that. Share, please. Just share. And not only your content, but then your thoughts, your ideas. What is it that you want to see from us? Because this is how I learn, and I want to be able to position myself where I can, number one, scale my business, of course. If I can inspire in any way anyone else who wants to try this entrepreneurial life, just send me a message, like, and we'll continue to put a good work out there. To my Hispanic people, our Hispanic people out there, just go for it. We got what it takes. We've seen stuff. We had it. We don't have it easy. So we have to make it better. There's no excuses now. Everything is out there, accessible to everyone. Everyone has a phone. Not everyone has a space like this, but the opportunities are there. Right?
You heard it here first. Hansel, again, thank you so much. We're going to put all the information of his company. Like he said, comment not only here, go to his social media, comment, like. This is like a boost for us to make more content and keep sharing all our experiences with you guys. And this is the whole point. Start a conversation. Comment anything you guys want to ask to Hansel. He's going to be super happy to answer all the questions. And like I said, we're going to meet very soon, different scenarios. I'll see you guys next time. And thank you again.
Thanks
see
for
you
having
next
me.
time.
Thank you.